find out, all hell breaks loose if they find out that you're lying to them. It's my money, like, give me my money. And you don't want to get into it with banks. Yeah. How am I gonna get to work? How am I gonna bring my daughter to school?
I know a lot of things about cars, I know about the vowels, I know about how they oil change your car and stuff like that. I help my dad out, so I think engineering is something I like to do. What does trades are trades like important when it comes to like making money and stuff like that?
Yes, because the trades industry is dying. A lot of people are not getting into it, and there's a high demand for it because those are jobs that we're gonna continuously need. Technology can't just push us out and do these things, right? Like diagnose the problem, fix the problem. So this is stuff that you can definitely talk about. You can even start a YouTube channel now and just start talking about this information or showing people what it is that you can do as a teenager. Selling is one of the best skills that you can learn. And it's not just selling in a business, you need to learn how to sell yourself. Whether you're gonna work for somebody or start your own business. Because when you are going into a room, like that's pretty much what they're looking for. They're looking for that confidence piece in you, right? So you gotta be able to go wherever it is that you need to go and be like, hey, I'm the right person for this job or this business, you need to hire me. So selling is one of the best skills that you can learn. If you work for yourself and you learn how to sell, any amount of money you wanna make, you can make it. I need you guys look online and tell me what the two major credit bureaus are that we report to.
What's a credit
Bureau? So remember when we mentioned adult report card? These are the two bureaus that keep your report card. So anytime you want to learn about your credit report, it's Equifax, Equifax, and TransUnion. That's where you're gonna go. That has your adult report card. So that will have your name, your date of birth, your SIN number, your current address, your current employer, and any history with your name attached to it.
Equifax?
Yeah, Equifax?
TransUnion?
TransUnion, yes. Look this up now. Difference between hard inquiry and soft inquiry, and which one is more important?
Inquiries incur when you apply for new credit or services. A soft inquiry is a credit check that does not damage your credit score in any way since you're not applying for new credit.
Perfect. So anytime you are, say, getting a loan, a business loan, opening up a bank account, getting a new car, mortgage, whatever it may be, you're gonna do a hard inquiry. Maybe sometimes with like getting a phone or internet service, they might say we'll do a soft inquiry. So that's something you wanna make sure you always ask, is it a hard or a soft inquiry? If it's a soft inquiry, it's okay. But remember what I said, you only want them checking your credit bureau 4 times for the year. So if you're doing 5, if you're on number 5, maybe it's not something you want to apply for and wait till the new year comes in. Oh, that's a lock on me. So now we're going to talk about an emergency fund. Don't be a waste youth. You got to file your taxes and types of bank accounts. Did it intentionally because when I grew up, I hated reading, and for obvious reasons. The only way I knew that I could tap into the kids is putting something that made sense to them that they would find funny and be like, okay, let me see what's actually in this book. So an emergency fund, think of this like a reserve fund. Why do you think you would need an emergency fund? What things have happened to your parents where you're like, damn, like I don't want to be in that predicament? Who's gonna own a car? What can happen to a car?
It can crash.
You get told.
Get stolen.
All those things, it could break down. And if it breaks down, what do you have to do?
You get told.
And let's say it was your engine or transmission. Maybe $3,000-4,000. Do you guys have $3,000-4,000?
No, used to.
You?
Yes.
So
What'd you do, spend it all on snacks?
So my sister, she had a car, it broke down, her transmission went. She called me crying and she said, I don't have no money to fix my car. How am I gonna get to work? How am I gonna bring my daughter to school? Luckily, me and her I was helping her save money, so I was like, what are you worried about? I have money saved for you. So she took that money and she was able to fix her car because she had an emergency fund. Think of an emergency fund as something that gives you a peace, like it doesn't interrupt your life. Like it'll give you a peace of mind. Something bad happens, you have the money for it, life continues. But now imagine you didn't have that money. Let's say you're going to university in a different country, and you gotta pay you didn't think of how much, you didn't account for how much it's gonna cost to live over there, but you're starting school in September. Having that emergency fund there, it just literally says, okay, I don't have to worry about this, I'm good to go, instead of going into debt. Because what happens when you go into debt? Interest. If you're thinking about taking OSAP, I would try to steer you away from that, because the interest OSAP charges, I can't even figure that out, and I'm a numbers guy. It's very, very deadly. If you can get grants, bursaries, or start saving money now, that's your best route. If you do take OSAP, you wanna stretch it out as long as possible that you're not paying them interest, because the moment they start charging you interest, that's gonna just live on your credit report forever. And if you don't pay it back, it's like, think of it having that F on your report card that just never gets removed. All right. 5 types of common emergencies for teens or college students. You maybe break your ankle, as you said, car trouble, academic expenses, your cell phone or your laptop breaks. For those that are gonna own a home, you need to have money set away for anything that could happen. You could have a leaky roof, the basement floods, a pipe breaks in or bursts behind the wall. You wanna always have money for these sort of things. You don't have to have a lot of money, but at least some money for any of these types of emergencies.
Hey, my culture, we give money to cousins and aunties and stuff. So is that unnecessary expense? If you were going to grow up in that culture, would you?
You gotta speak up.
Speak up, sir. We
I
can
don't
hear
think you
you.
just forgot what I said.
You saying your cousins, you give money to your
Oh,
cousins?
yeah. So like, do you think that that's a necessary, like, do you think you can co-sign for them or like give them money on like a regular basis?
Co-sign for them?
Yeah, like let's say they have a house and like they just want to like stay in it. Like it's your family, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, do you think that that's like good or?
I will just tell you from experience, I don't really get too deep into cultural things. That's more of a decision you need to make, and it's kind of hard for you to make that decision because you're so young. Because your parents will look at you and be like, you don't know nothing, right? That's kind of how I grew up, right? But if something doesn't make sense, then I'm not gonna do it. And if you're in a household where people have a bad spending habit, I wouldn't want to get involved in anything with them. Because now if they have a bad spending habit or they don't make payments on time, that's gonna be a reflection of you. So you wanna be very cautious. It's better to say no than it is to say yes. So if you're somebody like me that always says yes to people, change your attitude around things and say no. Because when you say no, it will give you a peace of mind later. Like imagine lending somebody $500 and you're telling them, listen, I need that money back like next month. And they say, yeah. Now, next month comes, yo, can I get my money? Yo, I don't have that right now. Yo, you're gonna have to wait. A year passes, you don't get that money back. How are you gonna feel about that?
I totally understand.
But now, if you told them no and they're upset with you, you still have your $500. They'll get over it and come back and then they'll still talk to you after anyways, right? So look at it in that sense. Saying no is not a bad thing. If you don't feel like doing it or your gut's telling you no, just say no. So 6 easy steps to start an emergency fund. So you want to start by creating a budget and see where you can save money. So how you guys can start a simple budget, think of 3 buckets. Start doing this now. You guys will thank me later when you see me in 20 years. You'll be like, Dean, I'm so glad you taught me about budgeting like this. Like, I'm an avid budgeter. I know how to save money. I know how to invest money, do all this stuff. So your first bucket is your needs. You're gonna put 50% of any money you make for needs. You guys know how to use percentages, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm just making sure. Just gotta ask a question.
50% of what?
Needs. That's your necessities.
So like whenever you get your income, like if you get your salary, you have to put 50% off like needs and everything.
Yes, 50%. So this is not the standard, but this is like the template that you guys are gonna use. You guys can do more now because you have no priorities, but this is what you're gonna use as a basic budget. So 50% needs. So who can tell me what a need is?
Food.
What kind of food?
Necessary food.
Necessary. So groceries. So not Uber Eats, not pizza, not junk food, not candy, pop, whatever. So it has to be clothes. Yes. What else?
Hydro.
Yes. What else?
Bills. Shoes.
What kind of bills?
Like house bills.
Yes. So
Water
like
bill.
rent, mortgage,
Like
shoes.
bills.
If you have one pair of shoes, do you need 5 pairs of shoes? Do you need 7, 8 different types of shirts or designer shirts? So it has to make sense for your clothes, okay? So that's your needs. Then I give you some leeway. You're gonna have 30% for wants. So that's whatever it is that you want to do. It doesn't matter.
Like electronics.
Yes,
Or like
yes. Outside of your necessary. Yes.
shoes.
Outside of the necessary. Yes.
Presto.
Why would Presto
Why
be a
would
want?
Presto be a want?
Hmm?
Why would Presto be a want?
She doesn't.
Because you don't have to pay.
When I got my first car, so I thought, so my mom pretty much cut me off because I bought a car. So she's like, yo, because I bought a car. I was only in grade 11, and I wanted to think that I was big. So yeah, pretty much. So I bought the car. So she said, I'm not giving you lunch money or giving you bus fare. So she said, go find your way to school. So I said, okay, I got a car, but I only had my G1. I didn't have a proper license on the car. Didn't have insurance, and then I was driving with people. And guess what happened?
You crashed. Got pulled over.
No, I got pulled over. The one time I decided, and you know what's funny? I was going for my G2 like 2 days later. The guy already see me, pulled me over, license registration. I was like, I don't have, I only have my G1. He's like, okay, slapped me with a ticket, impounded my car. So at the time the car was $750, but that was a lot of money to me back then, right? So I lost my car, had the fine that I had to pay because why? That chart right there. So it's like you're taking that risk, but if you get caught, is it really worth it? So you have to ask yourself that question. And I'm only telling you that because I've done so many dumb things. Like I don't want you to make the same mistake that I did. Do you guys remember what the first loss that I told you about this morning? How much did I lose? $250,000. I don't want you guys making that mistake. So I'm telling you guys, don't do this because this is what could happen. This is literally the experiences that I went through, and I don't want you guys to go through this stuff. All right, so determine your emergency fund goal. Figure out how much money it is that you want to save. Start small and work your way up. If I told you guys you have the capability of saving $10,000 in a year, would you believe me? For you guys, start with your goal. If you want to save $1,000, take that $1,000 and break it into smaller increments. So take 52 weeks. If you take 1,000, like if you go, so I want, except for Maddie, go online and search up 52-week savings challenge. If you go to the images, you'll see a bunch of different savings challenge. They took a big goal and they made it into smaller goals. So if you're looking to save money, that's the easiest way that you guys can save money. Set up direct deposit. So for those that have a bank account, you can set up direct deposit, or when you get older, when you get a job, every time you get paid, take money right out of that account. Gradually increase your savings. Sacrifice and discipline. Save windfall money, so unexpected money. Who gets money for their birthday? So if you get money for your birthday, save it. You have no reason to be spending that because it's your birthday. Everybody will buy you.
Can't you just do tax?
Yeah, you can do that too.
Yeah. What if you can't save because you're paying your phone bill?
Yeah.
Then your phone bill is very expensive.
It's $8.
$8?
80. Oh.
Yeah, that's very expensive. Wind Mobile's like $25. What do you
Yeah,
think?
but because I'm paying for my phone and then the phone bill at the same time.
How often do you get a new iPhone?
Every 2 years.
That's your problem. Every 2 years you get a new
But
phone.
I'm not buying it. I'm just paying monthly for it.
You're technically buying it. That's called lease or finance. So,
Focus, she's smart, though.
so that's how they get. Like it's good in a way, and it's also bad in the next way because you're young, and now they're putting you into their ecosystem of doing monthly payments. Who pays for iCloud or iPhone storage?
I need to.
You need to. No, you want. What is it that you're saving? Pictures and videos, right? If you go on Amazon, they have something called a hard drive that connects to your phone, and you can take everything off your phone. And now you eliminate paying Apple $3-4 a month. If you get the attachment, it will save you that money. And the reason I'm telling you that is they're making you accustomed to continuously buy from them. If you were to transfer from Apple to Samsung, how hard would that be for you? Very hard. And because you're already paying that little subscription service, whenever Apple comes out with something like a new iPhone, I want it. Now you're gonna pay for it. And they're literally they're just literally in your pocket, so whenever they want money from you, hey, let's just release a new product. She's gonna buy it from us. So you have to wean yourself off of that stuff. Because yes, it's little now, but now imagine when you're older. Do you drink Tim Hortons or go to Tim Hortons or what's the other one? Starbucks?
Not really.
Starbucks?
You didn't sound confident, so
Every once in a while.
every once in a while. But now you have a job. Now you're drinking coffee every day, and you just go tap tap tap. Guess what? Tap adds up. You went from $2 to $60 for the month. Now $60 turns into $600 for the year. Over 10 years, that's $6,000. Imagine what you could have did with that money. Imagine the money you put into an iPhone. If you guys took that iPhone money and put that into the iPhone stocks, when you reach Craig's age, you guys will have so much money you won't know what to do with yourself.
Always referring to Craig.
What?
You're always referring to Craig.
Yeah, because Craig's the older one. I'm the younger one.
Wait, I have a question. So you know how like people are like retired
Yes.
and they get like their old people money?
Yes.
Old people.
Pension.
Like, yeah, your pension. Like, is it basically like all the money? Like, let's say you make like let's say you make like $2 an hour, right?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, is it like your pension is like all that like $2 you could have made if you're still working?
They take a portion of your income. So the government takes some, and if you work for a good company that has like a pension plan, they'll also take money out of that as well. So it's sorry? They're helping you save money for later. So do you want to work when you're 65?
I think we have to.
I like that mentality. You don't have to. If you stick with the way the society tells you to live, yes, you'll be working in Walmart greeting me, saying hi, welcome to Walmart. But if you don't want to end up that way, that's what I'm telling you guys. If you start saving your money now, disciplining yourself, investing that money, or even investing into yourself, you don't have to go down that path. Imagine being 70 years old and having to pay your rent, getting up at 7 in the morning to go to work until 5. Do you think you really want to be doing that?
I don't think I can.
I'm
And
sleeping.
okay, so now let's say you work at UPS. You're 70 years old, and the minimum requirement is you have to lift 50 pounds. Do you think you can lift? Like if you don't even train or anything, and you have to lift 50 pounds every day, do you think you'll be able to do that? It's intensive labor, and they don't pay good enough for me to be doing that. Like my back hurts.
He's not lying. My first job was in a warehouse, and I left after the first hour.
Yeah, just walk right out. It's too intensive, but that's why I'm telling you guys all this stuff now, because if you take this information and you apply it now, you guys may say like, yeah, whatever, but I can almost guarantee you one person is not going to listen to me, and when they reach my age, they're gonna be like, yo, I wish I listened to that guy, you know? He told me some real shit back then. Like, I'm really telling you guys, like, the amount of things that people told me after I got older, I was like, you know, that person told me that not to do that, and I ended up doing it, and now I'm paying the price because I didn't listen. It's simple things. I'm not telling you guys anything that's gonna be detrimental to you guys. Like, this is real life stuff. Like, school just teaches you how to study, get a job, whatever. But I'm telling you, if you don't know this stuff in the real world, it's a reality check for you guys. If you don't learn this stuff now, when you get older, it's gonna be a lot of trial and error for you guys. So keep saving after you reach your intended goal. Just continuously save. You already have money set aside for yourself. No, I didn't tell you guys what the last bucket is. The last bucket is 20% for investing and saving. So those are the 3 buckets. If you can start doing that now, whatever money you get, just start putting into those 3 buckets. Even go to Dollarama, buy 3 jars, and just do that. You guys will be in a great position once you reach college, university.
I guess if you put money inside them, I'll just take it out.
It's discipline. You gotta exercise
It's
discipline.
hard.
Okay,
Life
so
is discipline.
It's
So-
hard because it's there. The money's there. It's take it.
Yeah, like obviously when you have money, the need to spend it is always.
but that's why you have 3 buckets.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, like when you get money, like I don't think.
Okay.
For me, first thing when I get money, my first thing is not, what am I gonna do to save it? My first thing is like, what am I gonna do? Like, what am I gonna get? Cause like you finally got money, and it's been like so long since you've been like sometimes like.
Oh, so then that goes back to what I was saying. If you start a business, you already have a business. You need to do more of your business so that your income now is more reoccurring. So if money's coming in faster, okay, imagine this between the 2 of you. So Jasmine and Prince, If you guys are making $100,000 a month, you're literally telling me you're gonna spend $100,000 a month every month?
No.
You can't, right?
No.
But if you don't discipline yourself now, guess what? You will spend $100,000 a month. And when your cash flow stops and that well is dry, guess what? You're gonna be like, shit, what happened to all my money? What am I gonna do? You know how you build, do you guys know what wealth is?
Yeah.
What is wealth?
Basically, large amount of money.
Consistent money.
Large amount of money, consistent money.
Rich people like the Kardashians.
Yeah, yeah. Rich is one thing, but wealth is another thing. Wealth is having the abundance of time. Time is on your side. Do you guys understand that?
Yes.
No. Okay. Being able to wake up and not have to worry about paying your bills. That's wealthy. So do you want to worry about paying your bills?
No, sir.
So now if you, okay, think of it like this. If you take the money that you save and you can put it into a vehicle that can make you money, now you don't have to work for money. The money's working for you to buy back your freedom of time. That's what rich and wealthy people really do. They want to maximize the amount of time that they have in the day. They don't want to go out there and work for money or think about where their next paycheck's coming from. So now imagine yourself, Jasmine. Yes, you like to spend money. How do I make money faster? How do I generate something where it continuously puts money into my account? Because you're gonna get to a point, you have so much money in your wants bucket, you don't need to touch your savings, you don't need to touch your needs bucket. It's working for you. But you need to find something that can continuously put money into those buckets. So you gotta create a machine, a money machine. That's why I say investing, a business, real estate. Any of those things will put money into your account for you. But if you're just working a job, guess what? You're gonna be stuck there, but you gotta find a way to make more money so that you don't go into those other jars for yourself. So emergency fund should cover at least 3 months expenses. I say about 6. Your average monthly expenses is $3,000. So you're required to save $3,000 a month to reach your desired goal of $9,000. So you don't necessarily have to do $3,000 in 1 month, but you want to make sure that you're trying to get to the goal of $9,000. So putting away maybe $100, $200 every so often. Once you hit that number, you don't have to put money in there anymore. You can take that money and put it towards whatever. So if you guys want to spend money, you have the extra money to do so because this is your safety net. Do you jump out of an airplane without a parachute?
No.
Unnecessary risk.
That's why you want to have an emergency fund. Unnecessary. Anything that comes up or unexpected, I have the money for it. Don't be a waste. You gotta file your taxes. So you guys are gonna all reach an age where you have to file your taxes. If you have a job now, your parents are filing you under their taxes.
What about tax evasion?
What?
What about tax evasion?
What about it?
It's possible. It's illegal.
I don't.
So can we?
Why do you want to do that?
So I don't pay my taxes.
But it's illegal to not file your taxes or pay the taxes that you owe. You're trying to find creative ways. Not paying your taxes, that's not legal. There's ways around that, and it's not called tax evasion. They're called tax loopholes. And the easiest way for you to do that is starting a business. And the reason why you want to start a business is because when you're an employee, you get taxed first. So if you make $90,000, government's saying $30,000 we want of that money. So now you only make $60,000. But if you have a business that makes $90,000, but you have $60,000 worth of expenses, you only have to pay taxes on $30,000. Does that answer your question? So now you're not going to do tax evasion, right? I'm not going to see you on the 7 o'clock news. Prince was trying to scam the government, right? Okay, just making sure. Okay, so when you guys are filing your taxes, because you guys are young now, more often than not, you'll get a refund.
I have a question. So
Yeah.
okay, I turn 18 next year, so I don't want to apply for next year.
Yes, so it's going to be your legal duty. When you guys turn 18, you have to file your taxes. Guess what happens when you don't file your taxes?
You go to
Next
jail?
year or something?
No, we're not in America, so you're lucky. However, if you do owe money to the government, they're gonna add interest, and they're gonna continuously add interest until you pay your taxes.
Can they take your house? Can they take your house?
Not the government. However, what the government will do, if you start owing a lot of money, you're gonna freeze your bank account. So now you have no access to your money. So now what are you gonna do?
Can't you just open up a new one?
With what money?
That part. So you want to file your taxes, and also if you start now, you're developing a good habit. So whoever's gonna start working, whatever money you make, you're gonna get something called a T4, or just a tax slip. Your parents have to file you under their taxes. Financial benefits of claiming taxes. If you do make a lot of money, or you pay a lot of taxes, sometimes you get a refund, sometimes you actually have to pay taxes to the government. So do you guys know where the tax money goes or what it's used for?
Like the city, it's used for the city.
Your school, police, fire, government. That's what I was saying. So it pretty much supports the community. So whatever it is that we need, that's where your tax money goes towards. If you're trying to get a mortgage, does everyone know what a mortgage is? If you want to buy a house, they give you a loan called a mortgage. You get a loan from the bank, they call it a mortgage. That's what they classify it as, right? And if you're trying to get a house or try to start a business, you're gonna say, have you filed your current year's taxes? If you didn't file your taxes, they'll deny you that loan. Or you gotta file it right away in order to qualify for the loan. Common mistakes to avoid: incorrect information. So always double check whatever information is being put onto your thing. Underreporting your income. So you guys know what auditing means?
Yeah.
What? Okay, so he doesn't know. So auditing is, the CRA will say, okay, do you guys know what the CRA is?
Yes.
What?
It's a company for credit.
No.
CRA, is it like tax police or something like that?
This is the government.
Yes, Canada Revenue Agency.
Agency.
I couldn't even remember for a second. So that's where you report your taxes to. If you underreport your income and they find out, they're gonna take whatever money that you owe to them, or owe to them out of your bank account. You don't wanna get into a position where the CRA is calling you and say, I'll freeze your account, but we're gonna garnish your wages. Those are the two worst predicaments that you can be in, okay? If you're a freelancer or part-time, just make sure you file your taxes, okay? Ignoring deadlines. I can say maybe one person's gonna forget their deadlines. Maybe put it in your phone for the deadline to file your taxes, because it's very important you file when it's due. You guys wanna pay the government money that you don't have to?
No.
So file it on time and make whatever payments you owe to them. To avoid late payment and interest. Overlooking deductions. You want someone that is a professional accountant, CPA designation, that understands how taxes work, so that they can maximize your benefit and get you the most money back. Filing status errors. So don't do this. You're married, say you're married. Don't say you're separated or divorced, because if they find out, it's gonna be all hell breaks loose if they find out that you're lying to them. Even if you live with your boyfriend or girlfriend for a couple of years, you have to consider yourself as common law, not single. Okay? 5 ways to file your taxes. So you can file it with using a software. TurboTax is the go-to for me. Paper filing, nobody does anymore unless you're ancient. So as I mentioned earlier, the accountant, community volunteer programs, and then NetFile is the software that you can use on the actual CRA website. So what can I deduct? Registered retirement savings plan. This is what's gonna save you from working and crying about what the government gives you for CPP, Canada Pension Plan, okay? You wanna make sure as soon as you get a job, you start a business, you're pouring into this. If you guys are making $100,000, $70,000, start putting money into this, because the more money you put into it, it reduces how much you pay in taxes.
What about life insurance?
Life insurance, non-deductible. However, life insurance is one of those go-tos that I recommend everybody get now. Even talk to your parents about it. Have that conversation. The reason being is you're all young now. Life insurance is very, very cheap when you're young. It is very, very expensive when you're old. My mom did this for me when I think I was about your age, about your age. And I said, what the hell is this? What do I need this for? I was like, this is a waste of money, so I canceled it. Lo and behold, when I found out about life insurance and how valuable it is, my mom was paying like 5-6 times the amount now, because I canceled that policy. If you can get a policy now that's a life policy, you're paying maybe like $20 a month for like $100,000 on your life. Now here's the hack for you guys. You want to get a life insurance policy that you can put money into, so now you can become your own bank. So when you guys want to go to college, university, buy a house, do investments, whatever it is, you can borrow from yourself. And you can borrow from yourself at a lower interest rate. So I took $10,000, I put that into a life insurance policy. That life insurance policy I have $100,000 on my name now. So if I pass away today, my kids get $100,000. Half of that money I put into that policy, I can take out and borrow anytime I want from myself. And if I leave that money there and let it grow, after 5 years, $50,000 that I put into that, literally I can take that out and I'll still have that policy that's worth like over $100,000. So any money I put into that policy, I can take out all that money out and I have a free life insurance policy. And I don't have to pay a crazy interest rate that like the banks charge. So that's something for you guys to talk to your parents about. Hey, do you have life insurance on me? So whatever it is that your parents have, they can do half on your name. Childcare expenses. So if you have a kid and send them to daycare, you can claim that. Moving expenses, this applies if you move closer to your place of work. So if you're moving like within 20 kilometers, any moving expenses you can claim. Home office expense. So if you're gonna work from home, a portion of your house, you can write off. So parents, pay attention. So if you do this out of your house, like say you own the house, like say your room, anything related to your room, you can write off. So that space, whatever the mortgage payment is for that space, that can be a write-off. Hydro, electricity, write-off. Any furniture you put in there, write-off. Tuition fees. So when you guys go to school, you're gonna get something, a piece of paper. You guys, it's only a portion of your tuition you can write off, but that in books, you get some money back.
Like when you go to college?
Yeah, college, university. Union professional dues. So if you're like Sheldon or Candyman, whatever you guys call him, some of his income goes towards his union. The union is what protects you and they oversee anything. So if you have any issues, you go to your union rep and they protect you. Professional dues, so there's like a teachers association, they pour money into it. Once they retire, they get some of that money back in the form of their retirement pension. Personal living expenses you can't deduct. Life insurance premiums, commuting costs, clothing costs, unless it makes sense for your business. Gym memberships you can't. Funeral and legal fees you can expense as well. Okay?
So this is like non-refundable and then non.
Yeah, so deductible, not refundable, deductible. So whatever money, if you owe like $10,000, this will help reduce it.
Okay.
Or if you actually are getting a refund, it will increase whatever you get for a refund.
Like your tax write-off or something?
Not your tax write-off, but so when you file your taxes, either you owe money or you get back money because you paid too much taxes. So if you utilize the majority of these and you paid enough taxes based on how much you make, then this will increase your tax return. So some important dates to remember, you guys can just take a picture of this. The one date that you guys do need to keep in mind is April 30th. That's the date you want to file your taxes. I'll answer. So there's pretty much 8 different types of accounts for you guys to know. So a checking account, that's your basic account that everybody should have. You should have at least a checking and a savings account. So your checking is for your everyday spending, your savings is to save money.
Don't you have to pay for savings?
When you're a child, no. Child, teen, no. So
It's
you can
telling
get,
me to pay. Like I'm a BMO and I try to open up a savings account and it says I have to pay 1% interest or 10% interest.
no, that's them giving you money. I think it's the other way around. They give you 1%. Not 10%, but 1% interest they'll give you for saving money with them.
So I can open up one right now.
With your parents, no, because you're too young. So the easiest ones, then you have high interest savings account. So when you get a bit older, you can do high interest savings. They give you about 5% for the year. RESP, so if you don't know what this is or don't have one, ask your parents to set one up for you. So this is a registered retirement savings plan. So any money that your parents put into that plan, the government gives you a percentage based on what you put in there. So that can help towards your education later. Youth account, so snacks, this is what you're talking about. So this one you can set up with your parents. It's like child teen account that you can set up and you don't pay any fees. Okay? You're gonna go to post-secondary education or do apprenticeship program. It's a good thing for you guys to have. Your parents put money into it and the government gives you a portion on top of it. Registered retirement savings plan, so that's what I mentioned earlier, the RSPs. TFSA, so this is what Prince was talking about. If you're gonna invest money, you wanna open up a tax-free savings account. So if you put money into the stock market, you make money, you don't have to pay taxes on it. Anytime you make money in the stock market, you make money off of real estate where it's not where you live, you have to pay taxes, and that's called capital gain. Then you have the first-time home buyers account. So if you're looking to purchase your first home, this is a good account to put money in. Why should teens open a bank account? So you learn money management. This one's for you. And it helps you learn how to become independent. So your parents can't say, oh, like you don't have to ask your parents for your money. So this is a way to show that you're independent and you're responsible. It keeps your money safe to an extent. Don't keep your money in a shoebox or in your house. True story, my house got robbed and I was robbed at gunpoint. And they said, where's the money? And I said, I don't have no money.
Where were you?
What do you mean, where was
Like,
I?
were you in the ends, the trenches? Like, where were you at?
Oh.
Huh?
Like, where were you?
Like, were you in the ghetto?
Oh my god.
Kind of similar, not really.
That was not
That's hilarious.
I walked into them breaking into my house. Like I walked into, they were already in the process, but it didn't really click to me because I came home from vacation.
Did you get your stick?
I don't live that type of lifestyle. Because if you live that lifestyle, then you always have to watch what's behind you, right?
Makes sense.
So I'm more of a straight arrow than you guys think I am. Like I'm not that guy that did the most in the streets or whatever. Like I didn't want to live that type of life. Like I'm not built for jail. I'm not built for the streets. I've done my dirt here and there, but I didn't do anything too crazy where I always had to watch my back. However, I don't know why they came to my house of all houses, but they robbed me at gunpoint. So they thought I had money, but I had no money in the house. Yeah, so keeping your money in a shoebox or in your house is not the greatest spot to keep it, especially if it's a lot of money.
How do I, like, so I did that, and, like, if I wanna, like, put it into the bank, like, I have a limit of, like, how much.
How much to put in the bank?
How much you take out, that's the one that isn't it?
Yeah. So banks will only allow you to take out 3,000 cash at a time. If you try to pull out more, you have to either order the money or they're gonna start questioning you. You kind of don't want to be questioned. I got questioned one time for taking out $100,000. They almost said, "We can deny you this money." I was like, "It's my money. Like, give my money." And you don't want to get into it with the banks. Yeah.
Just leave it.
So if you want to take out a lot, that's why they have credit cards, debit cards, or you can just write like a bank draft. It's a form of a check or a certified check. That's how you would take a lot of money out to pay someone. Plus it's a paper trail. So if you are paying for something expensive, that's your paper trail. Save for the future helps teams save for whatever they want the most. More importantly, save for future needs. Budgeting, it helps with budgeting, so it allows you to understand the importance of saving and spending wisely and track your expenditures. Building banking history, so if you can start now building that relationship with the bank when you turn 18, whenever you do need something, say you want a loan to pay for school, start a business, it's easier because you already started to build your relationship with them.